said you came in the third period and basically said take the game to them. I guess what was the message and what did you see from that?
I'm sorry, you said when?
Before the third period.
Oh, before the third period. Yeah, I had a message for him. I didn't like what was transpiring and felt we needed to respond. And we, you certainly have to respect what they have over there, but there's something in giving them too much respect, and that can't happen. Can't happen.
Did you feel that happened a little against Boston, and they had to learn from that and not do the same thing?
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, you have to respect everybody in this league, up and down, but there's situations where you can give too much respect, and that's a flat-out mistake. And that was something that we talked about.
So you can give that kind of message, and a lot of times the team just doesn't get it. They don't respond. What does it say about that group that they clearly responded?
Yeah, well, sometimes you'd love to give a message to your team, and you can't give it to them because they can't. Saying in a famous movie, they can't handle it. But this group, I'm confident. I have a lot of confidence in, and they're competitors. We got a locker room with guys that like to compete, and those are guys you can push, and certainly makes my job easier when you can push them.
You gave Haig and Fessick a lot of responsibility tonight. They were on Stamkos. Stamkos was pretty quiet for the day. Could you talk about the night that those two had in this game?
Yeah, it wasn't an easy night for those guys. They had a lot of, especially early, they put a lot of heat on us on the forecheck and pressure, and there were some hiccups. We had lots of hiccups because of their pressure, but we also had layers of support through that. So, but they stayed on it, and they got better and better as the game progressed, and they were rewarded for it just because they stayed on it. They didn't waver, which is challenging under those circumstances to not waver.
Craig cleaned up any mistakes, most mistakes you guys had, but from a defensive standpoint, what's led you guys to really contain teams to the perimeter as often as you have? You're not giving up a lot of quality against even an opponent like tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Craig was phenomenal. He was great. He's a leader. We have great leadership in him, and we talked about Pizzic and Hag, great leadership there on the defensive end, and obviously we know Oki and Z. So, we, like I said, when we had hiccups, and there were many, we have layers, and we have guys working hard to back their teammate up when, in the event there is an error, and I think you saw that. So there weren't many shots uncontested, which is a big key. We want to make sure even if there's a hiccup, it's still a contested shot or a contested rebound shot, and our guys have take pride in it. It's a credit to them taking pride in that.
You've talked a couple times about how we'll see what happens on the road. That's a whole different thing. That said, what does it say that they keep taking advantage of these home games?
Very nice. I mean, obviously, home ice is an advantage, so far, I don't even know what our record is, but at home. But yeah, I feel our guys have, and there were situations where even in the first period we were overwhelmed at times, but there was no panic. There was a little bit of frustration, but not panic, and we had to get to the point of being ticked off, and they got there. So, and sometimes that's not easy to do at home when you're overwhelmed like that or in moments. So, again, another credit to our guys and our leadership to push through that. And you saw Anderson come over the bench multiple times on timeouts, and his messaging was very good to our guys.
Don, how much of that is, there wasn't much belief around here for a long time. How much of that is the internal leadership of this team lifting them each other up, saying we can accomplish this?
That's the credit goes to that internal group, definitely. The belief system, I talked about it from day one. In the middle season last year, we had to change the belief system. That's the number one thing we had to do, and we still have to do it. I mean, it's still not. We don't have any long body of work on this, so it's still a major work in progress. But tonight obviously is one more night of hopeful reassurance that you can do things, and the core guys, the core older guys, really are key in that.
Because of what the consequences could be, did you give any thought to challenging their goal?
I did. Yeah, absolutely. And our video guys do a quick review of it, and you're battling. Our opinions can be one way, but you're trying you're trying to gauge, okay, is there enough there? Because it has to be, so definitive in favor of the thing, so of overturning something. So you're gauging that, and we just, but we did. We went through it. Our video guys did for us, and we just obviously elected not to.
Don, you said you had a message for those guys before the third period. 20 minutes later, a little bit of a swing there. What's your message after the game?
Well, we got to move on to the next game, and that would be it. But it was like every situation you got to learn from. It's got to make you better. And what I think the biggest lesson for us is, we didn't start. They set the tone, and we were so far behind in setting the tone that's probably what we take from it. We need to. That's a good learning lesson for us. We stood around too much early, and again, Craig helped us.
Craig almost exceeded expectations for you, given just where he was last year.
I can't say he's exceeding expectations. I mean, he's a pro. He's a competitive guy. He wouldn't have come back to play at his age to do the training you need to do. So on day one, when I saw him in shape and as serious and intent as he did, it's all I needed to see. Nothing would surprise me after that, because he knows how hard this league is, and his body, has not been on the young side for the last few years. So he knows what he has to do to compete at this level, and he showed that from day one. So this is not a surprise to me. We try to do our best from the coaching standpoint to help all our goalies, to give them consistent shot patterns and things like that. But I think he's been great.
When he comes over to the bench, what kinds of things was he saying tonight?
A lot of what I would have said, actually. Just calm down and excuse me, but just more leadership, but calming influence, confidence, and that goes a long way. Thanks, everyone.